By now, I'm sure you've heard the ATF is banning pistol braces. Some of you may be wondering exactly what that is, so I will show you some images. And then you can understand what a pistol brace is. And I'll tell you exactly why. First, let me just say I am livid. I reject this outright. And I think we may be seeing a volley of lawsuits filed over this. What you are seeing on the screen, my friends, is a pistol brace. It attaches to the rear of a weapon. I'm not a gun expert or anything like that. Many of you probably know better than me, but I'll explain. This is a pistol, not a rifle, okay? And I have a graphic that can show you a little bit. The pistol brace has this, thing on the back with a strap that it wraps around your arm, so when you're aiming it, it stabilizes it. However, it is a fact that these braces, because they're long, can be held up against your shoulder like a stock. That's the crazy thing about this. The first thing I want to say as we talk about this, where the real problem lies. What you're seeing right now is an image I found from The Trace. They explain the Ruger AR-556 pistol implicated in the mass shooting in Boulder, Colorado, uses the same receiver, but its stabilizing brace and shorter barrel make it a pistol under federal gun regulations. Yes. The ATF has issued a rule saying that you have 120 days to register your pistol if it has a brace as an NFA item, meaning fingerprints, going to the police, waiting 6 months, all this other BS. Otherwise, you're in trouble. The ATF is not Congress. The ATF does not get to make legislative decisions on banning certain things. The ATF cannot just come out and say, we hereby decree a brace is a stock. That's not how it works. So I say, I'm not going to swear, all right? Family friendly. But I did, basically, mouth the swear. You can't play this game, all right? Let's talk about this, all right? Because I got a bunch of questions. Here you can see the image. A 16-inch barrel plus the AR platform, the lower receiver, and a stock makes it a rifle. If you use a shorter barrel than this with a stock, it becomes a short-barreled rifle. If you have no stock, let's put it that way, it's a pistol. A stabilizing brace wraps around your arm so that you can be stable when you're shooting. Many people, and this one's really dumb and obvious, do use a stabilizing brace as a stock. You're not supposed to because it makes it a short-barreled rifle, but a brace is not a stock. And therein lies the problem. The ATF had no issue with this. All of a sudden, they're now saying they do. That's not my fault. I abided by the law, followed all the rules. You can't just come out now and threaten criminal penalty without legislative action. That's what I expect to see. I call shenanigans on this. Further, I call more shenanigans. Why is a short-barreled rifle regulated under the NFA? Serious question. A short-barreled rifle. So here's the bigger controversy, in my opinion. So they say the 16-inch barrel is a rifle. Do you know how easy it is to buy a rifle? In most places, even in New Jersey. New Jersey, one of the worst places in the world. Maryland, also one of the worst places. Worst places in the country. It's still better than many places in the world. One of the worst places in the country for trying to buy a gun. And even getting a standard AR-15 5.56, relatively easy. It should be easier. I'm not saying it's, super easy. Relatively easy. Meaning, in New Jersey, you got to get a car. It takes like a month. Then you walk in, you do a background check, you can buy a rifle. Handguns are a lot more difficult. In New Jersey, you got to get a form filled out. You got to mail it in. It's all this nonsense. So, because the barrel is a few inches shorter, all of a sudden now I need federal permission to have this. That is, in my opinion, unconstitutional. And you see this story. I think this shows the egregious nature of the ATF's overreach. So you have a stabilizing brace. Again, let me show you the image. Because of its function, it can be pressed up against your shoulder like a stock. Therefore, it must be banned. That's their reasoning. If they were going to regulate this, as they did for so long, I'd make the argument that if you're trying to make the argument like the Trace is doing, I'm assuming they're doing it. Or you know what? I'm not even going to say they're making the argument, okay? If you look at this image, you can see the similarities between all three weapons. Why are any of them regulated any differently? They shouldn't be regulated at all. They should all just be rifles that you can buy. Well, here's a story from Fox News. GOP lawmakers call it unconstitutional overreach. I'm hoping to see a volley of lawsuits. We'll see how things go. I don't want to say too much just yet. Republican lawmakers call regulation of pistol stabilizing braces a gun registration and confiscation scheme. I say it is imposing criminal penalty without legislative action. The government does not get to decree that I've broken the law and then come threaten me with criminal action. They say the ATF finalized a new regulation Friday that will treat guns with stabilizing accessories like short-barreled rifles, which require a federal license to own under the NFA. The move was part of a comprehensive gun crime strategy Biden announced in April in response to Boulder, when a gunman used a stabilizing brace to kill 10 people. You know what recently happened? It was a court in New York, I believe, ruled the bump stock ban was unconstitutional. I imagine this will be the same thing. Announcing the rule, Attorney General Merrick Garland said that stabilizing brace accessories, which were designed to help disabled combat veterans enjoy recreational shooting, transform pistols into short-barreled rifles. Keeping our communities safe from gun violence is among the department's highest priorities. Almost a century ago, Congress determined that short-barreled rifles must be subject to heightened requirements. Today's rule makes clear that firearms manufacturers, dealers, and individuals cannot evade these important public safety protections simply by adding accessories to pistols that transform them into short-barreled rifles. That's on you. That's on you. When pistol braces came out and you knew what they looked like and you knew that people could push up to their shoulder and use as a short-barreled rifle, and you said, no, it's fine, it's okay. We all said, okay. All right, fine. Now me, I like using the brace for a brace because I have rifles. I don't need to use a brace as a stock. But let's be real. People do. Absolutely they do. But that doesn't matter to me. The issue is, did you say okay? Did people then act on good faith? Did you then pull the rug out from under them and say, now you're going to go to jail? Nah, homie, don't play that. I think that's unconstitutional and wrong. Now, it's important to understand there are some exceptions in this regulation. I mean, it's one thing, you know, this is an MCK pistol brace for a handgun. These are a bit different. I mean, that's the total modification where you put the handgun in, and we'll make some arguments, but all that really matters, you need to pass legislative action on this. You cannot just come out and change the rules. But anyway, some exceptions. If the pistol brace functions solely as a brace, they are still allowed. That is to say, take a look at this image. This back right here, right? It attaches to the weapon and then wraps around your arm. It's got a Velcro strap. It is a stabilizing brace. Because this up top is thick, the top of the brace, it can stabilize itself up against your shoulder. If that was not there and just the brace part went down, that is apparently fine. I don't know how you design or build that, but they should. The rule specifically states that if the brace does not have that function, it is fine. Okay. Important to know, but to me, don't care. It is unconstitutional to make a law without an act of Congress. We do not live in a dictatorship. We do not live in a place where a government bureaucracy, law enforcement agency can decide, you know what? You're breaking the law. Could you imagine if the FBI just came out whenever they wanted and said, you know, we said possession of caffeine was legal. Changed our minds. No longer. Well, caffeine's very similar to cocaine. What if the DEA said, you know what? No caffeine. They could, couldn't they? It's basically what they're doing right now. So I don't play that. I'm not going to play games. People use stabilizing braces as stocks. Fact. They've complained about it. So what? If you don't like the rule, pass a law in Congress. And if you can't, unconstitutional. I'll leave it there. Next segment will be tonight at 8 p.m. YouTube.com/TimCastIRL. I hope to see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.